All right, block party number 91. We're now brainstorming the 20 to 30 second viral TikTok video, Snapchat, Facebook, you name it, but it's just going to be super tight, that essentially serves as an advertisement for what James just talked about on the previous video. You with me? It's an advertisement. There's one action item from that 20-second TikTok video. If you liked it and gave it a thumbs up, great. Here's the action item. Watch the 30-minute video. Right? And, 10% of 10 million people will watch the 30-minute video. That's 1 million views. Right? And that is exactly the critical mass we need. We need 1 million people calling their elected representatives and joining the fledgling, mostly fragmented universe of transformational conversations that will ultimately result in getting this done. It's not going to happen on its own, apparently. Right? I mean, I would love to see God flying overhead in some big spaceship, farting out, clouds and just doing it for us. Please do, don't let me stop you. But short of that, we got to act. And the first step towards action is conversation, always. How does humanity come together to do something so incredible and somewhat high tech, not super high tech, but somewhat high tech? There's some technology that needs to be developed, and but actually most of it is developed. It just needs to be integrated, basically, and then have whole systems testing and such things, optimization, whatnot. And we got to do it like in a matter of months. We've got months within which to act, right? And under incredible pressure. We need each other more than ever. So again, 20 to 30 second ad, 30-minute video, and then the call to action after that, after watching the 30, you liked this? Great, join the conversation. And then, 10% of those million, we'll have 100,000 people in a vast network of thousands of conversations. Thousands of conversations. So many throughout the week that it'll be like Manhattan, the city that never sleeps. Right? You can always get a coffee in Manhattan. James has his hand up. Go for it, James.
Well, I suppose I should have also mentioned you in the list of that as well, because I was saying that for, like, as you were saying, no, I started, in my list, I basically put it into a list of professionals talking about their profession in each of the systems that they're working in, which are all connected. And basically, then Guy also telling us how habitat depends on all of these systems. So basically, that's the kick in the face to people. We're in the shit, people, is what they're telling them. Like, and these are the only people who are willing to tell them that anyway. And the good news is that Tao and Dr. Stephen Salter are there with the likes of MCB and Mere Reflection. But what was the point I was going to make there now? You have to remind me what you were saying there a second ago there now, Jim. I'm not to lose my train of thought.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm just really glad we're recording it. And just interrupt me as soon as you get it back, okay? But the 20 to 30 second ad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, that was actually, I should have mentioned you in the list. You would have been coming in there at the end as well with the marine cloud brightening and the Mere Reflection with your and Silas of course as well, but the food would be coming in there. But you'd be coming in there with the collective intelligence part of it then, and how we can get together to actually work on what these people are talking about and get action behind it and get motivation and get it into swing. Because we've already laid the groundwork for that. So, you're the expert in that field. So, we need to hear from every one of their experts in the field of the system, the planetary systems, and how dangerous that is for all of us immediately now. Like, but we also need to hear from those who have the solutions, and you, Silas, Stephen Salter, and Ye Tao are part of that, a key part of that. Like. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Okay, so let's all right, I'm going to screen share in a second.
Practical
So
one.
that
I'm
you
not
can-
going to distract. I'm not going to distract. But I thought if we could have a small chyron at the bottom saying, please visit trove.network for more information about this project.
No,
Yeah,
we're gonna have a much tighter link than trove.network.
Oh,
Radish
okay.
dot Michael dot
God,
Hart.
yeah, that's
No.
tough.
Go
That's
ahead.
tough.
No,
Yeah,
don't worry about that. We got that covered. We had a long meeting this
Okay,
last
good.
week. Yeah, we got it covered. So let me screen share a couple of things here. Because I'm going to pause for a second, pause recording again. Okay, the screen share here. Let's see. Okay. So what we're talking about with phase one is, starting with Guy, right? And ending with marine cloud brightening. And very important, I'm going to even put it in a different color, as a technical solution. Period. You end there. You end what? You end phase one there. And then where do you go from there? Phase two. And we're going to call phase two, okay, Sherlock. Because phase two starts, okay, Sherlock, Marine Cloud Bright sounds great. Who the hell's going to pay for it? Duh. No one's going to pay for it. Duh. So, basically find something else that'll make people money. And, there's basically two big answers for how do we do it. We say either, okay, Bill, go ahead and make money doing it. I mean, the business case is let's just call it pretty compelling. The business case is pretty compelling. Why do I say that? Hey man, invest a few $1 billion and you can save all of life on Earth, all of humanity, including your granddaughters. Any interest? Nah, my granddaughters are a big hassle. I have to buy them a buttload of Christmas presents every year, and it's really digging. Yeah. What? Okay, so you want everyone to die? So come on. So a business case can be made for this. Who do you charge? How do you charge him? Talk to my cousin, the billionaire venture capitalist, and I literally want to bring him on, so to speak, so that we can say, hey man, let's say you wanted to make billions of dollars off of this, and maybe he will, literally, and because shoot, you invest a few billion, the revenue could be tens of billions per year, right? And the business model could be, if you don't pay me, I'll turn off Manhattan. Subtext, pendejo, right? You know what I'm saying? Pretty good business model. And the good thing is New Yorkers can understand that. New Yorkers can understand that kind of crap. They can understand. They think, okay, here's your $1 billion. Now go shake down London. James, go for it. Speaking of shaking down Dublin, Ireland. And all the money is on the coasts. All the people are on the coast. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, that's definitely a way to go as well. Yeah, definitely. But another to add to that then as well is what we could do as well is if we can get this meeting organized with all of these people here now that we're talking about and get this video done on the sense that they all have their own followings, you know what I mean, on YouTube and everything else, loyal followers who know what they're talking about and everything else. We get each person in the meeting as well get to put the message out to their followers to tweet out this video everywhere, to put this video, make it viral, you know what I mean, as viral as we can, to pass it on to friends, to tweet it out, to put it, or whatever way they want to share it, whatever, through any type of media, but make the video viral so that the general population get to see it. That's what the whole thing is about, is to get the general population, to give them the fucking slap of reality in the face, so that they're going to be motivated to get the fucking money to get this shit together. Like. And that's what's going to push the politicians and the business people, because the public are the only ones that could put pressure on politicians, or, you know, the people, the powers to be, so to speak. And even at the very least, the public are also the only ones that are willing to put their hands in their pocket anyway in the first place. So, I mean, if you think about it, if everybody in the country spent a couple of dollars on a lottery ticket instead of that, and they all put it in towards an SRM project, you have billions alone. Like, so, anyway, that's just another idea.
Simon and James, great stuff. Simon, this is going to blow your mind, but we are recording. We've been having a really awesome meeting up until now, and with you here, now it's
That was perfect.
A belated Happy New Year. It's
Yeah.
Marco's,
Happy New Year.
Marco's birthday. Is it Marco's birthday? Where is he?
Happy birthday, Marco. Yeah, we made him a vegetable cake, a cake
Okay.
made of vegetables and or produce rather. Anyway, there's
And-
Marco.
And belated happy birthday to you, Simon.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Fellow Capricorn.
Belated happy birthday, Simon.
Yeah, happy birthday, Simon, and happy New Year, man.
Man,
34.
Capricorns. I love Capricorns. Seriously. I mean, it's like it's in the charts and everything. So
Okay.
Stephanie was 2 days after Christmas as well.
anyway, if we were both gay, we could go out, but we're not. So anyway, or at least one of us isn't. Anyway, so oh shoot, we're recording. Okay, that's a problem. All right, we need a video editor fast. No, I'm just kidding.
I've been acted on Zoom.
But anyway, check it out. So we're actually talking about some thanks, Sarah. Appreciate that. We're talking about some pretty cool stuff here, no kidding. And so let me recap for Simon, if I may. So Simon, James came up with a brilliant idea, which is that we bring together the top experts in the fields most directly related to planetary overheating and cooling options, realities, constraints, whatever, right? But what's the skinny on the overheating and the cooling, right? And it would go roughly like this. Guy McPherson leads with, we've got years until human extinction unless we cool the planet in time, right? That's literally takes 5 seconds for him to say. Then Dr. Yatow of Harvard speaks for 5 seconds and says, fortunately, we have the means to cool the planet in time. And at the bottom of the screen, it would say, Dr. Yatow, Harvard, mere reflection, cooling the planet, whatever, with the link. So his words were literally the only, fortunately, we have the means to cool the planet in time. So both of those 5 second segments end with in time. And third comes on the ice guy who says, what do you mean by in time? We have months until we may be months away from an ice-free Arctic. So by in time, can we cool the planet in time, or with perhaps local cooling around the Arctic in time to save the Arctic this year? And then it cuts over to Professor Stephen Salter, University of Edinburgh, who then says, fortunately, we have the means to cool the planet and with specific emphasis, why not, on the Arctic, right? Within the multi-month time period required. And that is, and then it just shows the image of the ship, his red and white ship. And that's it, 30 seconds tops. And that, Simon and everyone, is our, I think in the UK, you call it an advert. We in the civilized world call it an advertisement, right? Just kidding. Anyway, so yeah, it's like who's more civilized than who these days. But anyway, so we've got this advertisement that's 30 seconds and it has a singular request or action item at the end of it. In other words, if you liked that 30-second ad, and who wouldn't, right? Because it spells both the urgency and the solution in 30 seconds. Then please watch the following 30-minute video, right? So typical AIDA cycle: awareness, interest, desire, action. This is awareness, right? Then if you're interested, so let's say 10 million people watch the 30-second advert because it goes viral all over Twitter and, TikTok and Schmick and Schmack and all the others. And so 10 million people watch it. Of those 10%, say 1 million people then watch the 30-minute video, which James just outlined. And we've got it recorded, 6.5-minute video. So be sure to watch that on my YouTube channel. Seriously, it's incredibly great stuff. He just went off for 6.5 minutes flat, right? And say 1 million people watch that 30-minute video. Then that takes us into the realm. That 30-minute video would include some of the following, right? And here's where we go from media to phases. When I say media, I'm talking about a 30-second advert, right? And a 30-minute video that tells them everything they need to know just right. It's like that perfect late lunch meal that it just hits the spot. You didn't overeat, you didn't undereat, and it was all plant-based and it was all delicious and it was perfect because Sarah cooked it. So let's say we go from, so that's media, 30 seconds, 30 minutes, and then what follows.
Add on to another phase, maybe live appearances, maybe in the 3 biggest cities, New York, LA.
That's media. That's all under media, and media is great. I could talk media all day long, but I want to talk about the other dimension.
Okay, thank you.
Right, which is phases. So we have media and we have phases. I'm just using whatever words come to me. This isn't super well marketed, admittedly. So, but first, let me recap media with a quick screenshot just to give you a visual of what I'm seeing. So welcome to media. Okay. It starts with the 30-second advert, followed by a 30-minute video. I'm just saying with like twice the number of people. We have about 4 people here talking for 5 seconds each, right? We probably get it to 20 seconds, maybe even 15 seconds. Anybody's got 15 seconds. Very few people these days have an hour to watch something that they're only, obliquely interested in. Okay, so let's get it down to 15 seconds. 4 people times 4 seconds each, and we got this. That leads them to a 30-minute video. And then, so that's A and B. What's C? It's a bunch of ellipses. It means I'll tell you later. Now let's shift gears and talk about the phases, what I'm calling the phases. All right. So we have phase 1. And this is transmedia. So it's like it's kind of like it's like an orthogonal dimension. So whether you're watching the 30-second or the 30-minute or the 30-hour commitment, because after 30 minutes, it's 30 hours, right? There's a multiplier of 60, right? Regardless of whether you're in for 30 seconds, 30 minutes, or 30 hours, right? You were going to cover the following 3 phases in order. Phase 1, Guy McPherson, says, we've got this tremendous urgency. Ye says we've got a solution. Let me just fill this in. Ye says we've got a solution. What is it? Peter, is he the ice guy? Peter says we've got months to solve this. And then Professor Stephen Salter says, fortunately, we've got MCB as a technical solution. And it stops there. That's phase 1. Phase 1 stops with marine cloud brightening as a technical solution, period. Phase 2 is called OK Sherlock. in honor of another famous Englishman, however fictional. Okay, Sherlock. How do we get to marine cloud brightening full planetary scale implementation? Right? That's the question, which has two possible answers. Okay, Bill, pay the banker, or, you know, fun underworld Bill, or for concise concision, FU Bill. We're going to do this money free, right? You remember how like Bill Gates wanted to monetize and successfully did, pressured to monetize vaccination. I mean, I feel like I'm living in the middle of a bad Saturday Night Live skit, but back to media later. And so basically these create two different pathways, and we can talk about both. Okay, Bill, I'm going to bring in my billionaire venture capitalist cousin to say, all right, let's say you wanted to make billions of dollars on this, right? And that's the funny thing about these folks, is they can never have enough. And so, you know, even though he's a billionaire, he's not like on the top 100 list. And so he, you know, just like they say at the basketball games in the United States, when a team is close to 100 points on the board, they start chanting, "We want 100, we want 100." They all want 100. They all want to be in the top 100 list, and then once they're there, they want to be in the top 10 list. Anyway, enough sociopath psychology. Not you, cuz. But there's the other way, which, you know, then brings us straight to the topic of collective intelligence, right? Right. And then and from there, that's what gets us to the ellipses down here, which I'll now fill in, right? Which are 30 hours on Zoom. And, you know, and then from there, 300 hours. Marco, what are you at, like 3,000 hours? I'm not kidding. So, but we've started with 20 seconds. So we've got the media and the message, basically. Here's the media, 20 seconds, 30 minutes, 30 hours, 300 hours, and then Marco's at like 3,000 hours. Marco James.
This is one of those public advertisements that the channels have to run a public advertisement, don't they? Like we call that.
Okay, I'm gonna create a parking lot. Oh shoot, I thought it was screen sharing. I'm so sorry. How long have I not been screen sharing for? Anyway, doesn't matter. We have the media, 20 seconds, 30 minutes, 30 hours, 300, 3,000, and then we have the message. And the message comes in phases. So, you know, you can get, like, if you just watch the first 5 minutes of that 30-minute video, you'll get phase one, right? And then maybe the next 5 minutes you get, you know, not the next 5 minutes, but maybe the next 1 minute, you got to look in a peek into phase two, right? So the 30-minute video might have, I don't want to use the same, I'll just do it like this. Might have 5 minutes of phase one material. And then the second portion might be 1 minute of phase two, just kind of like a peak, right? And then, you know, fuzzy music, interlude. Sounds like it could be the name of a bad kind of movie, but anyway, fuzzy music interlude. And, you know, and then I would say the next phase is we take a full 10 minutes more on phase one, right? Basically just digging deeper, because there's a few topics that we need to dig a little deeper into. Are you sure we're all going to be in debt in 10 years, right? And here's where we need to win over the people who have heretofore been operating like sheep, right? Another relative who I won't mention, who's a PhD scientist, not Uncle Frank. Okay, and she's a PhD scientist, and she, when I told her about Guy McPherson, and I actually introduced her to Guy McPherson, I had her come out to dinner with Guy McPherson, right? She stood there looking at him as if, like, I don't know, Sasquatch, came stumbling along in the forest, and he's a good looking guy, of course. And I, at the end, I asked her, what did you think? She said, well, he's an outlier. Brilliant. Let's bet the future of humanity, and in fact, all life on Earth, based on what the average COP26 attendee thinks. James, were you impressed by the average COP26 attendee? I wasn't. Right?
Only by those who were there to protest the hypocrisy that was going on in the meetings.
Yeah, and they weren't even technically there. They
Were
weren't
they-
even participants.
Were they mostly government types, academic types, like kind of?
Government, academic, and nonprofit.
Oh,
right.
okay. Yeah.
And then,
Okay.
and then there were a bunch of First Nations people who, probably are affiliated with some nonprofit or other, but they're not your suit wearing, they came with headdresses and lots of colorful, their indigenous traditional clothing. And it was quite beautiful to see the great diversity. And they were basically told to sit down and shut up, or literally go away, after having traveled thousands of miles and all that, and having been invited to the conference. I had an invitation to be inside the conference. And when I got there, they said, nope, we're canceling the press conference. Thank you. I flew all the way out here, flew other people all the way out here. And anyway, but I digress. In the 30-minute video, at the very end, after we've hinted at it a little bit, then we go for the close, right? And the close is collective intelligence, the meta solution. Right? You don't like the words? I don't particularly like them either. This isn't a beauty contest for words. This is, what do we need to do to save life, to take the actions that we have a few months left to take to save our lives, right?
Just to jump in quick, you were.
I wonder if a song like "Don't Stop" by Fleetwood Mac could be reused to support our message.
Yeah,
Don't stop.
let me put in the parking lot the topic of music.
Like mute. Okay, thank you. That's all.
Parking lot music. Okay, cool. Thanks.
When you said your relative said, well, he's an outlier, if I had to choose the group that's going to make something happen and save us, give me all your outliers, please.
Yeah, totally. I mean, here's the thing. The precautionary principle says take the most urgent message and not act on it, but take the most urgent message and take a look at it. Do this. Look, hence, don't look up is perfect. Don't look up. Don't look up at the problem and don't look up at the solutions, right? Both, right? Don't look up at either the problem or the solutions.
Within, Without You, the Beatles song. Look within.
Ah. Look within. Okay. Anyway, so again, we've got music in the parking lot. And back to the 30-minute video, because the 30-minute video is where we're going to win, lose, or draw. The 30-minute video.
Yeah, well, about that now, like, what you just mentioned the COP26 there, like, as we were over there, like, and just thinking about it there after you mentioned it again, and you know, the idea of the video and the reason I was thinking of doing this video with all these experts is because they were all there at the COP and everything, and they're the top in their field, they're scientists and everything, and people all over the world were well focused on COP26 was going on because it was made a media event all over the world and everything. But it was, the media made it out to be a very tense negotiations going on and all this. And there were very tense negotiations going on over there in that building in that blue section where we were outside protesting and you were singing German. There were all those businessmen going in there and 500 delegates from the fossil fuel industry. They had no business being there at an environmental conference, but yet there was more delegates from the fossil fuel industry there than there was from any country around the world. And all these scientists that I'm talking about that we need to get together are sick to death of what's after happening in the COP this year, because quite simply, that the world was given the impression by the media that's under the, who's been paid for by the fossil fuel industries and the powers, the wealthy corporates, to give the story and spin the story so that everybody thinks all is good. And the world is watching thinking, oh yeah, they're doing something again in the COP and they're really hammering out deals and everything else. Yes, they were. They were hammering out deals on how to keep business going and how to keep their pockets fucking lined. But all the scientists that I'm talking about were put over in another section, a far over section, away from all this that was going on. They were put into these kind of tents and they were given little rooms where they could give their presentations to themselves, because there was no one there but themselves and their own people that were accompanying them, or others doing presentations there, listening to them, and there was 4 or 5 people, 10 people. It was pathetic in the crowds listening to them, and they weren't even provided with proper media coverage for their presentations on the actual science of what the fuck is going on with the system and what's going on with the planet. The whole world thought that there was people, given the impression that there was people, the powers that be, working on the problems, and they were actually covering up the truth of what was happening. They didn't even televise these presentations by the scientists. They didn't let anybody see any of that going on, and the only way you could see any of those presentations is because the scientists recorded their own fucking presentations and have put them up on YouTube. And if you're inquisitive enough, then I'd suggest you go and look at these fucking things. They're all under COP26. Just look at them, from Facing Future to Scientists Warning. Look at those videos and listen to the experts. You'll see for yourself that, we've been completely and utterly beguiled for too long, like. And here they are in the face of us facing disaster, and they hoodwinked us again by pulling the wool over people's eyes again, by making them think that they're doing a great job here. They aren't. They're doing a great job of lining their pockets and keeping themselves fucking happy, cheerful and Larry, while they're forcing restrictions on people all over the world, and people starving all over the world, and systems breaking down and animals dying all over the world. And it's all going to fucking go, people, very shortly, if we don't wake the fuck up. And I'm sorry for the language.
No, I couldn't agree more.
But
Yeah,
when
go ahead.
sorry, no, like,
Yeah.
it's catching me breath, like.
Yeah, carry on.
But when I came back from the fucking COP, I was very fucking disgusted.
And you're right, because
Oh, you
it's a
did.
way to keep us divided. And you are exactly the kind of person that needs to be voicing for a lot of people that are just too, they're just too cowardice. Because what's happening is the systems, this is all planned, as we know, it is trying to keep us divided. They are locking down Canada, I heard. And this is not about the pandemic. This is about complete, total population control. I don't care what anyone says about that, and I'm not a Trump supporter. That is very clear what's happening with the New World Order, because they don't want us to find out what they're doing. Duh. That's why animals are transported at night to get murdered. They don't want us to know. And so they're trying to keep us scared. And that's what they want. They want us to be fearful of authority when they are the worst authority ever, because they are the worst aggregators of, they're just awful people. Everybody that's right now in the game are people that are in the killing machine and the burning machine, as Dr. Rao would say. Thank you.
Yeah,
No,
but thanks, Sarah. But when I came back from fucking COP, I wasn't just disgusted, I was fucking angry. And I'm still very angry, to be quite honest with you, because I've known for a long time now, like, what the fucking situation is with our climate system and everything, and it breaking down before our eyes. And now people only have to look out the fucking window to see it. The devastation happening in the States there alone in the month of December is fucking unheard of and unimaginable and fucking tragic. And it's actually something that could be fucking preventable. Do you know what I'm saying? By foresight and planning and fucking cooperation. But this is something that we leave to leaders that are fucking deceiving us and beguiling us. And it's the only way we're going to get ourselves out of this is to actually listen to the experts. That's why I proposed this meeting. Listen to the experts, listen to the fucking truth, and listen to the situations that can, or the ideas that can get us out of this. And push our fucking governments and leaders to actually act on it and fucking fund it. And if they don't, then we do it our fucking selves. If we can spend our money on fucking lottery tickets and drink or whatever else, we could certainly spend it on saving our asses. I don't care. We can fund it. It's not going to take that much anyway. The Marine Cloud Brightening is fucking insignificant money to the amount of money that they were wheeling and dealing inside that COP convention. And they're talking about that 200 billion and all this fucking shite. And it only take a fucking couple of billion, then we'd have the Marine Cloud Brightening up and sorted. My point is that I'm fucking angry and I can't help it, because I knew going over there anyway that none of that was going to come to anything, because it's just the same old cop out as the rest of it. But it's because I was in the heart of it, and again I had experienced it in the flesh, and you get caught up in the spirit of it and everything else. But not only that, it's fucking disheartening coming back after looking at the faces of children in those protests and everything else. And they're looking at fucking government leaders with this idea that these are great people who are going to save them, and they're fucking being lied to. It's a disgrace and a tragedy. And all I say is that if we don't do our utmost to wake people up, and I believe that getting these people together and telling them the truth and telling them that there is a way out, but we need to get together to fucking push it. That's the only way we're going to do it, because we're never going to get anything solved by waiting for our so-called leaders to fucking do anything. Passing the fiddle.
Well, we are the new leaders, and including the people that we're going to be inviting, thanks to you. Marco has his hand up. Go for it, Marco.
Yeah, I think I'm 100% behind the video we've been discussing the last half hour, 45 minutes. Getting those key people and making it short and sweet. But I think just as important.
I can't hear you very well, Marco. Sorry.
I
cannot hear very well.
How about everybody else?
Yeah, well, you're clear. Your volume is a little low, but you're clear.
Okay, I can just speak up. I think it is as important as that video is. I think we need another video of people just like James. We need maybe a video series, The Angry Irishman, or just angry people from all over saying, look, you just watched what the experts said. where's the action going to happen? You know, we
The only problem with that, Marco, is someone has already cornered that market, and her name is Greta Thunberg.
this is true.
That piece is solved. What we need is the solution. There's a great soundbite right there. That piece is solved. What we need is the solution, and the solution comes in 2 phases. Actually 3. Phase one gets you to, okay, we need marine cloud brightening. Phase 2, okay, Sherlock, how do we get to marine cloud brightening? Right. And then phase 3 is implementation. All right, Sherlock told you how to do it. Sherlock, and the end of phase 2 is, this is how, here it is, connect the dots. All right, we then connect the dots, because that plan has action items for us. If we knew the right thing to do right now, guess what? We do it. Cool thing is, I think we do know the right thing to do. And there's 2 things. Door number 1, door number 2. Door number 1 is food healers. Door number 2 is what we're talking about right here today on Block Party number 91. And long live the Block Party, by the way, because food healers was born on the Block Party. And all this cool stuff that we're talking about here and now was born today in Block Party number 91. Stick at it long enough.
We're not talking about getting in a long line of cars and going somewhere. We're solving problems in our place. We're saving energy. We're not going anywhere if we don't have to, right? Because that's we're not going to get into a snowstorm out on the East Coast, you know. By solving this problem, we're going to hopefully prevent as many storms.
Exactly. Yeah. And you make a good point. This is a very green technology that we're using, instead of flying around like we all flew to Glasgow. Well, I think Greta took a sailboat or something like that. Which is, you know, anyway, so she's got both the shame on you part figured out, and also the virtuous signaling, right? So she's got them both. And so again, phase 1 results. The end of phase starts with Guy McPherson talking about the urgency, ends with Professor Stephen Salter. Here's the solution. Phase 2 says, okay, Sherlock, I get the theoretical solution. Now, how are you going to actually get it implemented? And then Sherlock answers. And then phase 3 is implementation. 1, 2, 3. Right. And then in terms of media for promoting that 1, 2, 3, we have ABC. 1, 2, 3. See, ABC is the media. A is 30 seconds, is 20 seconds, 15 seconds. Right. I sound like a Texas auctioneer. Blah, 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 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 15 seconds. So we're gonna bid it down to 15 seconds ish, blast it out. And then again, the one ask is watch the 30-minute video. 10 million people watch the 30-second video, 1 million watch the 30 minutes. Right?
I would probably say like that would actually be longer than a 30-minute video anyway, because there'd be 11 people going to be speaking, and even if you gave them just 4 minutes to get the point across, that's 44 minutes. But you'd also have a few minutes then as well to, you know, discuss then about how to go forward and what's required to achieve, and action from our governments and funding and that as well. So you talk, and we say a 60-minute video is the best, because we don't want to leave any gaps either. We don't want to put any time references on it. I reckon just for now, we just consider getting the people in the room for the meeting. And whatever length the video goes for, it doesn't matter, because if you're going to start watching it, you're not going to fucking let go of it until it's finished. It's as simple as that. And, you know, however long the video is unimportant, I suppose, at the end of the day. Like, we'll try and get it into 60 minutes is what I reckon we'll do it anyway. Like, because most people can have a 60-minute time frame or time span or attention span.
No, yeah, you're right. No, yeah, go ahead.
Also, how long is a TikTok video? Because that's a great way of putting out the video. TikTok videos are like, how long do you get to make a TikTok video? Is it about 30 seconds or is it a minute or what? Because they're very popular.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think that's what we got to do. I think we got to go TikTok. And, so that goes viral. And then fine, the ask is a 60-minute video from a 15-second video to a 60-minute video, because it's got 11 people. And then, they just keep, it's like, it's the ADA funnel that I was talking about earlier. 10 million people watch the video, 1 million people watch the 60-minute video, and 100,000 people join the conversation. And Marco's got his hand up. Go ahead, Marco.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's left up from before.
Okay, then back to you, James, because I think you had more to say.
No, I was just saying, I was just thinking about the TikTok videos. I know that's a great way of putting it out because they spread all over the place. So we need to make it catchy. So Michael have a point as well about thinking of a music to go with that TikTok video, because that's how you get their attention. I know we're going to be talking in the video. Either way, anyway, it doesn't matter how long. We need to find out how long is a TikTok video and what time frame we have to work in.
Yeah, totally. BJ, welcome back, sister. We're deep in the world of SRM. We're recording. Yeah, feel free to jump in, everyone. But let me just recap for BJ real quick. Why not? It'll only take 30 seconds. So we're going to create a 15-second kind of advertisement, starting with Guy McPherson saying, we've only got years left unless we cool the planet in time. Dr. Yatao says, good news is we can cool the planet in time. Peter Wadham says, in time means months, not years or decades. And then Professor Stephen Salter says we can do it with marine cloud brightening. Okay, that's the 20-second advertisement, or 15-second. Goes viral on TikTok because there'll be text on the screen as well as in addition to their images, right? And it goes viral. 10 million people watch that because, my goodness, I didn't know it was so urgent. I didn't know the ice was almost gone. I didn't know. And I didn't know we could actually cool the planet. And, I thought it was better that we all just do biodynamic farming and eat grass-fed beef or something, and then we're all okay. That kind of, silent narrative that they push, that is pushed on all of us, that we're basically okay. Make a few tweaks here and there and, move around the deck chairs on the Titanic and everything will be fine, right? So we're telling them no. Heck no. And here's the reality, and here's the solution. And then that much of the conversation then piques your interest with that 20-second video, and then you go on to watch a 1-hour video with not just 4 people, but 11 people. James has them all listed out. James gave a brilliant synopsis of the whole thing, which I highly recommend, 6.5 minutes. I could even just play it here. I'm actually being serious, because you capture it so well, and while it's coming at you, it's like a dozen different freight trains all coming at you at once. You end up kind of messed up. So let's play it again, and everybody put on your body armor, but not before BJ and Sarah and whoever else have anything to say. I don't know if I saw hands go up, but anyway, I'm passing the talking feather because I talk too much. There was this rap song in the 80s. You talk too much, homeboy, you never shut up. You talk too much, homeboy, you never shut up. Anyway, homeboy's going to shut up.
Well, I came back on because I had a question on the Food Healers page. I sign on and I can't get to it because it wants me to sign up for the mailing list and the X doesn't go off, and I don't know if that's just my computer or somebody else's. But I am so excited to hear that I came in time to see what's going on here with y'all. Okay.
Are you talking about foodhealers.org?
Yes. Well, which is under Climate Healers.
Yeah. So when I type in foodhealers.org and it directs you to the Climate Healers, My only thing is it just asks if you are accepting cookies, I think. I've never seen anything where you have to put your email address in, although I do like that it would want to capture your information. Therefore, we could send out emails about the events and back with the block party and stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're using what device you're using. I think you said a laptop or a home computer.
Well, now I'm on my home computer and it says stay updated, join our mailing list. And then it has an X, like you can mark it out if you don't want to join or subscribe. X it out. So I subscribed and then I got an email back said you're already subscribed.
Okay, after a brief pause, so BJ was bringing up food healers. Oh yeah, and we want to see that 6-minute video. That's where we left off. Thank you, Gabrielle. So to facilitate that, I'm going to need to just jump off and then jump back on. So let me do that.